The faculty and staff procession is led by the Faculty Marshal, Dr. Govind Rao, the 2019 Presidential Research Professor and Director of the Center for Advanced Sensor Technology, known as CAST, and Professor of Chemical, Biochemical, and Environmental Engineering. He is joined by Ms. Liz Steenrod, Staff Marshal, the 2019 Presidential Distinguished Staff Award recipient for non-exempt staff, and Program Coordinator for the Language, Literacy, and Culture Doctoral Program. And by Mr. Joseph Kirby, the 2018 Presidential Distinguished Staff Award recipient for Professional Staff and Assistant Vice President for Information Technology. The faculty and staff marshals are carrying batons that the UMBC Alumni Association gave to the university in honor of our 40th anniversary in 2006. The platform party is led by the Grand Marshal, Dr. Ganesh Kuru, President of the Faculty Senate and Professor of Information Systems. The Grand Marshal carries the University Mace, a symbol of presidential authority. Used only on formal academic occasions, it is carried in the procession immediately before the President. UMBC's Mace was commissioned by the Alumni Association for UMBC's 20th anniversary in 1986.
On behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, welcome to UMBC's 2019 Convocation. Please rise for the national anthem. Gentlemen, please remove your caps or hats during the anthem.
And
Please be seated. It is with great pleasure that I introduce Dr. Catherine Cole, Vice Provost and Dean of Undergraduate Academic Affairs. The Division of Undergraduate Academic Affairs oversees the development and delivery of programs that enrich the undergraduate educational experience, including first-year experience and introduction to an honors university seminars. Programs reporting to Dr. Cole include the Honors College, Interdisciplinary Studies, the Learning Resources Center, Meyer of Scholars Program, the Office of Undergraduate Education, Sherman STEM Teacher Scholars Program, and the Women's Center. The office also oversees undergraduate research initiatives, including Undergraduate Research and Creative Achievement Day. Together, these programs support students in enhancing the skills needed to succeed in reaching their academic, professional, and personal goals. Please welcome Dr. Cole to the podium.
Thank you. Good afternoon. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration, I welcome you to UMBC. Today's convocation celebrates you, our entering students, and also the beginning of our academic year. We are truly honored to have you here. Each of you brings unique skills and incredible talents, and we celebrate with you this moment in your life. It is an exciting time for us all. Today you begin a journey, an odyssey actually, with us. And I want you to know that we are there with you every step of the way. Our part in your journey is to provide the absolute best environment possible for each and every one of you. An environment in which you can grow intellectually and personally and find and pursue your genuine passion. I encourage you all to pursue your passion. All too often, students pursue majors because they think they will get a better job or make a lot of money, and they ignore the things they truly love. I am here to tell you that finding and pursuing your passion, and I'm old enough to know, trust me, will make you not only successful in college, but successful in your life. That said, and given the fact that you are all very bright and accomplished students, I will also tell you there will be times when you fail. You will make mistakes, as we all do. It is absolutely how we learn. Failure is integral to success. Thomas Edison, the inventor, said once, "I failed my way to success." And he was right. All real progress in personal development takes place outside of your comfort zone, in an area even the highest achievers can fail. And I wanted to read a quote from one of my favorite books, The Places You'll Go, which is a book by Dr. Seuss, but really, really profound. When he talks about successful high achievers, and he says, "You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be the best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest, except when you don't, and sometimes you won't." It is in those sometimes that I encourage each and every one of you to reach out to us and let us help you, advise you, guide you. Every single person at UMBC is here for your success and is dedicated to it. This is a unique and incredible community of caring people. But as caring as we are, we cannot help you if you do not ask. So please reach out when you need us, and we will respond. And what I want to do is end with a story. And it's a story I call the Starfish Story. And it's very short, I promise. So the story goes, a grandfather and his grandson are walking down the beach, and there's been this big storm. And all these starfishes, thousands of starfishes, have washed up on the beach. And they're walking down, and every step or two, the grandfather picks up a starfish, throws it back in the ocean. And they walk another few steps, and he picks up another one, throws it in the ocean. After about 10 times, the grandson says to him, "You know, Grandpa, you're not making any difference. There's still thousands of starfish on the beach, dying." And he picks up one more and throws it into the ocean. And he looks at his grandson, he said, made a difference to that one. And the reality is that this not only exemplifies my philosophy, but the philosophy of everyone on this stage and everyone in this community, and that is to make a difference in people's lives, one person at a time. It is our mission as a university and as people, but more importantly, it is our passion to do so. So, find your passion, set lofty goals for yourself, be bold, be resilient in times when you struggle, ask us for help, work hard, but most importantly, believe in yourself and have the courage to be true to who you are and your values. It is the knowledge that you will gain here through this outstanding education you are about to attain that will allow you to make a difference in people's lives. Welcome, Retrievers, to UMBC. Thank you. One of our traditions at UMBC is to invite the current presidential teaching professor recipient to address new students at Convocation. The Presidential Teaching Award honoring exemplary dedication and achievements is given to just one faculty member per year. Today, it was my pleasure to introduce Dr. Carolyn Forstier, Associate Professor and Chair of Political Science and the recipient of the 2019 Presidential Teaching Award. Since 2014, Dr. Forstier has dedicated herself to designing and implementing courses with great care and sensitivity to the perspectives and best interests of her students. She has designed assignments that help students use material they studied to find a way to apply them to real-world situations. Her expertise in innovative pedagogy extends well beyond her classroom. Departments across campus have adopted her new instructional approach to research, which she has outlined in her 2017 book, Beginning Research in Political Science. Please help me welcome Dr. Carolyn Forstier.
Thank you, Dr. Cole. Good afternoon, Retrievers. Good afternoon, Retrievers. Okay, how many of you are excited about starting up classes this week? Raise your hand. Raise your hand up high. Get it up there. How many of you are excited? Okay, leave it up there. Leave it up. It's like exercise. Okay, next question. How many of you are a little anxious or nervous about starting classes this week? Put the other hand up there. Get them both up there. Very good. Okay, so we're excited and we're nervous. And I'm here to tell you that that's a good thing. What I want to talk to you about with the few minutes that I have today is your agency. I love this little word. We use it a lot in the social sciences, but what does it mean? It's quite simple, really. It's about control. It's about how you make your decisions. Now that you're here, you're not home, you're not in high school, you're not at community college, you're not at whatever institution you were at before now, you're here, you're at UMBC. And it's going to be all about you and the decisions you're going to make over the next few months as we begin this fall semester. What are you going to do now to make your semester as successful as possible? Now, here's the thing. How you're going to do academically in the next few semesters is not going to be only about your intelligence. I know. It's not about being smart. Want to know how I know this? Because you're all smart. You're here. This incoming class is one of the most accomplished we've ever had, so I know that you're smart. But to repeat, being smart isn't going to be enough. At this level, it's going to be about your agency and how you use your time. You need to remember at all times that you are in control of what you're doing. So what am I talking about here? It's our good friends, right? It's about organization and time management, right? Honestly, it's that simple. I think there is a linear relationship between how much time you put in your coursework and how well you're going to do at the end of the semester. Starting tomorrow, you're going to get all the syllabi for all the courses you're going to take over the next 4 months. You're going to see everything that's going to happen from class to class, from week to week, from month to month. Your readings, your assignments, your tests, your papers, your labs, your creative activities, everything that will be required of you for each class. And it's very easy to get overwhelmed quickly. But remember, be organized. You have agency. You can control what you do with your free time outside of class, so you can be sure everything gets done. Please don't wait till the last minute to do your work. Don't wait until you're panicked. Do your work when you're relaxed, when you've budgeted your time for the tasks you need to complete. And if you do, I promise you, you'll find yourself less stressed and anxious about everything going on. Why? Because you are in control. Let me give you an example. I have a lot of writing work to do this semester. I have to complete a 20,000-word chapter on Italian politics for a new European politics textbook that's coming out, and it needs to be done by the end of December. 20,000 words, that's a lot of words. I estimate that it's going to be about 24 pages single-spaced, and they have to be really good 24 pages that I need to complete. But I'm also the chair of a department, teaching a few courses, and I have a nice life filled with fun activities with my family and friends. So, since I know that being smart is not going to get my 20,000-word chapter written, last week I made a huge chart and I mapped out each day between now and the end of December, putting in all my obligations and times when I know I'm not free, and I discovered that there are 42 days between now and the end of December in which I have 3-hour blocks during which to research my material and write. 42 days. These are the days that I don't have teaching obligations or meetings or anything like that, right? So I figure, 42 days, 20,000-word chapter, I figure that if I write 500 words each day I have in my 3-hour blocks, I will be finished with my chapter, get this, on Thursday, December 19th. So I can turn it in by the end of the year for the first round of review by the editor of the book. I can do 500 words a day. I can't do 20,000. I can't even do 20,000 in a week, but I can do 500 words a day. So even though I'm both excited and a little anxious about what I have to do, I anticipate that this chapter will get done. But it won't happen if I sit back and let time pass without being organized and engaging in appropriate time management. I have to be disciplined with my time and understand maybe I can't watch 5 episodes of something on Netflix in a row, or I have to put my phone down, right? Everyone's going, You know, that's what we do. We spend so much time on our phones and with our distractions. We have to minimize those. The time is now. And I believe very strongly that each and every one of you can do the same. Get organized, get prepared. When you get your syllabi tomorrow, and they're coming, tomorrow is the first day of class. When you get those syllabi, map it out for yourself. Put every single thing that you have to do over the next 4 months in a calendar of sorts. Be organized and be true to that organization. Remember, you're all smart. I know this, and the people behind me know this. But not everyone is going to do equally well. And for me, the biggest predictor of your success here, my dear new retrievers, is how you stay organized and manage your time. I know you can do it, and I can do it too. So get ready, go home, get your desk organized, figure out what you're going to do to give you the time that you need to do your best work, and buckle up. Thank you so much, and have a great week. Now I'm pleased to introduce Ms. Brenda Deshpande, President of the Student Government Association. Brenda is a senior pursuing a BS in biological sciences and minors in mathematics and chemistry. Being active since freshman year, she has been a member of the Honors College and the University Health Services Student Health Advisory Council, a math coach at Lakeland Elementary Middle School, an undergraduate admissions ambassador and executive vice president of the Student Government Association, and she is engaged in multiple service learning practica each semester, including placements at Paul's Place, Reading Partners, and College Jumps Refugee Youth Project. This year, Brenda serves as the president of our Student Government Association. Please join me in welcoming Brenda.
Thanks. I'm a little nervous, so go easy on me. Good afternoon, and welcome to UMBC. My name is Brenda Deshpande, and I'm from Howard County. I'm a senior studying biology with minors in math and chemistry, and I'm the current president of the UMBC Student Government Association. Like many of you, I sailed through high school. I was on top of everything. I took 12 AP classes. Overall, I had a pretty inflated sense of my own academic ability. So naturally, I was headed into college with a master plan, and I was completely in control. Step one of my master plan was to move into my dorm as smoothly as possible because I had enough going on and I was not going to have any problems that day. In my house, the dining room is right next to the garage and it's kind of the closest open area. And so I decided that was the perfect place to stack my giant Walmart storage bins, and my mom was not having it. She kept asking me to keep it all in the basement and to stop packing so much. She had plans of her own, but I got my packing list from Pinterest, so I clearly knew what I was talking about. Step two of my plan was to excel both academically and in co-curriculars. I started my freshman year with 18 credits, 16 of which were introductory STEM classes. And because I wasn't worried about academics, I piled on the co-curriculars. I volunteered at 3 different organizations my first semester, all maybe 4 to 5 hours a week each. I also joined SGA's program for first-year students. So I had my plan, my classes, my friends, my service sites, SGA. I was all set to be that upperclassman that talked about their perfect freshman year. Unfortunately, things didn't quite go according to plan. While you'll hear from Jackson soon that he was able to balance his commitments, I started to prioritize co-curriculars over academics, to the point where I chose to volunteer instead of go to class. I figured I could learn all the material on my own time as long as I showed up for the exams. On one fateful Tuesday, when I got on the bus to come back to campus after a few hours doing service, I opened my phone to like 15 texts I had from a friend in my physics class that I had just skipped, and the very first text I read was, "Good luck on the exam today." The second one I read was, "I don't see you in the exam room, so you better not have forgotten." And I didn't bother to read the rest because I knew what was going on. I had somehow missed an exam worth 25% of my final grade, and there would be no opportunities to make it up. I couldn't bring myself to go to any of my other responsibilities that day, and instead I was paralyzed at my dorm room desk, wondering how things had strayed so far from my plan. I was scared of failing my classes, scared of disappointing professors and volunteer coordinators and my parents, scared of not being as good as my peers, scared to ask for help, scared to be honest with myself and the people around me. I was terrified of being incompetent, and with my worsening grades and anxiety, that fear was manifesting in real life right in front of me. I realized in that moment, when I missed that exam, that I needed a new plan to recover. So step one of my recovery plan was to confront all the things that I'd been avoiding. I was tired of suffering in silence. I left the service site with the class conflict. I visited the Learning Resources Center to confront my academic struggles, and the Counseling Center to confront my mental health. You'll hear from both me and Jackson that we benefited enormously from getting help. SGA's first-year program at the time was immensely frustrating me, so I shared my feedback with the SGA president, and I left. In those last few weeks, I was calmer than I'd been all year. Step two of my brand new plan was to actively change what bothered me in the first place. I decided my sophomore year would be few less credits and less service sites, and I got the highest grades of my UMBC academic career. Once my academics were in order, I rejoined SGA last year as the vice president. In an effort to rework what had frustrated me all those years ago, we completely overhauled the first-year ambassadors program. Today at the picnic, you'll meet a ton of the SGA elected and appointed officers, and they're actually here today. Hi, guys. They're an energetic bunch. I'm proud to say that many of those elected and appointed officers are actually products of that brand new first-year ambassadors program. My recovery plan concludes today with step 3, to stand right here in front of you at Convocation, to have the courage to share that my freshman year wasn't, in fact, picture perfect, and to know that that's normal and okay. As you'll hear, even for Jackson, who got a 4.0 his freshman year, life wasn't as perfect on the inside as it seemed on the outside. It's very easy to be hard on yourself when you see excellence everywhere around you, but know that there is just as much excellence in recognizing where you need help and asking for it. When things don't go according to your plans, take a step back, breathe, forgive yourself, and make a new plan. At some point in the future, one of you will be up here where I am as the SGA president, and between then and now, you have plenty of time. I look forward to seeing all of you at Involvement Fest next Wednesday on Erickson Field, but don't wait until then to say hello. The SGA office is on the second floor of Commons, and all of us are in there every day planning our projects for the year. So stop by and let's brainstorm together how you will make your mark at UMBC. Thank you. I am pleased to introduce Mr. Jackson Boettcher. Jackson is a rising sophomore pursuing a BA in psychology. From Hummelstown, Pennsylvania, he is a forward on the men's soccer team. As a freshman last year, he was an integral contributor on the soccer field and helped the team on their run in the America East tournament. Jackson also excelled academically his first year, maintaining a 4.0 GPA. Please welcome Jackson to the podium.
Thank you, Brenda. Good afternoon, UMBC. I am Jackson Boettcher. As Brenda said, I'm a sophomore studying psychology from Hummelstown, Pennsylvania, which is a small town outside of Hershey, and I play on the men's soccer team here. Throughout my life, I've been the outgoing, talkative person, but during preseason last year, I was the exact opposite. Picture 20 guys with one major thing in common, soccer, all living together in Potomac Hall for 2 weeks. Everyone had their doors open. Guys would go from room to room just talking and being excited for soccer. However, my door was closed. Imagine me sitting in my room playing Xbox all day by myself. Flash forward to Welcome Week. Now picture me in Patapsco Hall. It was there that I realized that I needed to be more comfortable with myself and start to be who I am. One thing that actually was very beneficial for me in opening up was those cheesy icebreaker games that you've been doing all week. I know they can be boring and awkward, but it was those simple exercises that pushed me beyond my comfort zone to talk to people. And as a result, it made me more relaxed and confident. My roommate, Quantrell Jones, was very supportive. He was always attending events with me, which encouraged me to become more comfortable in front of others. Pretty soon, I was meeting new people from many different backgrounds. Now picture me walking into those open doors, talking to anybody that would listen. Being a student athlete means balancing soccer practice, school, and a social life, which is not easy. Our coaches create a team GPA goal for us each year, so I knew that I needed to pull my weight in the classroom as well as on the field. Brenda just told you how she struggled academically and was focused heavily on co-curriculars. But I was determined to make sure I went to every class and finished all my schoolwork in time. Even when our team went to the conference championship last season and had 3 away playoff games in 1 week, I still wrote an essay and took a test online. I was focused. As some of my team knows, and some still don't, like Brenda, I have anxiety. And as the work grew, my anxiety also began to grow. I started to worry about every little thing. A teacher would ask a question, my heart would start to race, and I'd start to sweat. Every night, I would go to sleep praying that I'd just wake up in the morning. Even now, I'm more worried about what you all think of me rather than what I'm saying. When I look out and see someone in the audience that looks tired, I automatically think there's something wrong with how I'm talking. When I started to notice how the anxiety was getting in my way, I began to reach out to people that cared about me for help. And I also tried to get out of my comfort zone as much as possible. For example, during Welcome Week last year, the other freshmen on the team and I sang karaoke in front of a room full of people at Big Crazy Fun Night. And we hope to see you all there tonight as our freshmen will sing again. I was nervous, but once I had the mic in my hand, I went all IS. Shawty like a melody in my head. You guys get the picture. I started having fun, and it turns out getting out of my comfort zone was just what I needed to be true to myself. I also found support from the faculty and staff here. During my worst times, my athletic trainer, Sam Reynolds, was the most important in helping me stay on track despite all of my struggles. I think it is good to find someone that is willing to listen and help you through whatever you're going through, and know you're not alone. So now I was starting to make some friends. Sometimes you have to look hard to find the right friends, and other times they can be right in front of you, literally. It was in an intro to psychology class, and I was sitting next to one of my teammates when our professor asked us to form groups of 3. The girl in front of me turned to us and asked if she could work with us. We bonded over sports, and we have stayed close friends since. She has also been very supportive of me, and she's showing her support here today. So don't be afraid to reach out to people in class and other groups you're involved with. As a matter of fact, look at the person in front of you right now. Someday they could become your best friend. After karaoke, I continued to make sure I was getting out of my comfort zone. One of the most powerful things I attended at UMBC did just this. The school held a clothesline project display, which encouraged sexual assault survivors to tell a story on their t-shirt and hang it up anonymously. Although looking at these shirts was not the most comfortable thing, it made me realize that there's always someone going through tough times. And even though I personally have never experienced sexual assault, the impact it had on me made me see how much pain some people are going through, and I may never know who it is. As you have heard throughout Welcome Week, it is on all of us to create a safe community. In October, there will be another clothesline display if any of you are interested in checking it out. I know I for sure will be going back to learn more. Despite everything that happened to me last year, it turned out to be an amazing and very successful year. I achieved my goal of helping the team on and off the field as we went to the championship, and I maintained a 4.0 GPA. The most important thing for me, though, was finding a group of friends that I could count on to support me no matter what was going on. So I want to leave you with a few final thoughts. Never be afraid to ask for help, because you never know when someone else could be going through the same thing as you. Take the risk to find supportive friends and surround yourself with people that try to make you better. There will always be challenges. Just continue to push past your comfort zone, and in the end, everything will always be okay. Actually, speaking of pushing others out of their comfort zone, I would like you all to wave hi to my little brother, who is with my team here to support me. He's in the top row, Ryan. If you only take one thing away from my speech today, let it be this. I expect you all to join me, my brother, and the rest of the UMBC men's soccer team at Retriever Soccer Park Friday night at 7 p.m. for our first game of the season. Also, head out to Retriever Soccer Park on Thursday to support the women's soccer team as they continue on with their season. If you see me around campus, please say hi. Enjoy your first year. I am honored to introduce the president of UMBC, Dr. Freeman Hrabowski. Dr. Hrabowski has served as president since 1992, bringing great energy, vision, and leadership to the university. Dr. Hrabowski also is known for taking a personal interest in all UMBC students. Don't be surprised if he stops you while you're walking or in an elevator and asks you what grade you earned on your last exam. He is dedicated to ensuring that all students reach their goals and achieve their potential. Please join me in welcoming our president, Dr. Freeman Hrabowski.
Jackson, you were superb, man.
Thank you.
Come and visit me, okay? You were superb, you really were. Give all the speakers a round of applause. Good afternoon. So I want to give you a break. I want everybody to stand up for a minute. Stand up and breathe deeply for a minute. We got about 15 more minutes and we're going to be out of here. About 15 minutes, not a long one, okay? Now I want you to repeat after me and be mindful because I'm going to test you on it. You're going to hear me doing this all the years that you're here. Repeat after me. Thoughts, words, actions, habits, character, destiny. Again, thoughts, words, actions, habits, character, destiny. Here's your test. Watch your thoughts, they become your. Watch your words, they become your. Watch your actions, they become your. What your habits, they become your, what your character becomes your, that's your first A. Have a seat. Thank you. Round of applause for the words, for the words. So I'm going in a very brief time to talk a few minutes, read a couple of things, and just reflect. Because we want you to celebrate this day. If you're here as a freshman or transfer student, you are a new student, people who come to UMBC know what grit means. They know what high achievement means. Give yourselves a round of applause for making it into UMBC. Give yourselves a round of applause. And then I want all of our current students who are in the room who are not new students to stand. Let's give them a round of applause. All the current students who are not new students who are in the room to stand. Let's give them a round of applause. And then I'm going to ask our faculty and staff out there and behind me to stand. And I want you to give them a round of applause, all of them. We are all here to say welcome. This is convocation. So in Latin, the word convocation means a calling together, bringing faculty and staff and students here together to reflect on what's important to us. And I've asked students over the years, what are the most important things to say? And they were the things that Brenda and Jackson talked about. But when I listened to them, I had one thought. They were willing to tell you their stories. And my first message to you is know your story. I was at a meeting of returning women students yesterday who were some just coming here and some who had been here, and they were telling me their stories. And in the middle of it, one of the women said with great inspiration, you know, your story is your weapon in life. Your story is your weapon in life. That is how you got here today. That is your parents and your grandparents and all those people on whose shoulders you stand. All of that is a part of your story, and being able to tell your story will inspire other people. And so I want you to, as the students have told me to tell you all over the years, the things that they said: keep an open mind. Please don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't stay by yourself. We can be supportive. Get involved. Show interest in your classes. Go to class on time. Don't sleep in class. Give me a round of applause for that. Don't sleep in class, faculty. Be prepared. Challenge yourselves beyond your comfort zones. The same things, and the idea about making mistakes. We all make mistakes. That's what grit is about. It says we fall down, but we get up. You know, I go around the country talking about success at UMBC and what we've learned, and a part of it is in my TED Talk, and it says 4 things. And it's not just in science, it's in life, it's in college. The 4 things: high expectations. We faculty and staff and administrators expect a lot of ourselves as we're working to support you, but we need you to expect a lot of yourselves as you prepare to be here. And number 2, to build community. You're not here alone, that you need to be working with other people along the way. And number 3, it takes experts to pull people into the work. So whether you're in the arts or humanities, social sciences, engineering, science, people will pull you into this work. And then we need to constantly be evaluating what we're doing. It makes all the difference in the world. We have 80,000 alumni now of UMBC. You stand on their shoulders, and they are artists and engineers and physicians and scientists and attorneys and teachers and social workers, and they are in the country and beyond the country, with a lot of them in this state. And what's significant is that you know people have come before you. They sat here, and now they're doing good things. And so I want you to know that the new Speaker of the Maryland House of Delegates is our graduate. Give her a round of applause, Adrienne Jones. And let me just give you some others, and we applaud all of them. That the Surgeon General of the United States is our graduate. That the President of Clemson is our graduate. That the head of the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab is our graduate. That the Baltimore County Executive is our graduate. That the Chief of Staff for the Governor is our graduate. Give them all a big round of applause, would you? And so I tell you that because every one of you is destined to do big things. You will be great citizens, and you will be leaders. I want to read a poem that was read to me as a child in the middle of the Civil Rights Movement. My story, people have heard, I was a child leader in the Civil Rights Movement. I'm old enough to have sat under Dr. King and to hear him say, tomorrow can be better than today. And I had the privilege, the honor of marching with those children in Birmingham and of going to jail for a horrible week when we were treated like animals. And yet somehow we had been taught we don't let anybody else define who we are. I want you to always remember that, whoever you are, that you define who you are. And for us, it was about a better world. And there was a poem that was given to us in our church that we used throughout the time in jail. I've used it all my life, and I give it to you. It says, may you seek after truth. If anything I teach you be false, may you throw it from you and go on to richer knowledge and deeper truth than I have ever known. If you become a man or woman of thought and learning, may you never fail to tear down with your right hand what your left hand has built up, if through years of thought and study, you see it at last not to be founded on that which is. If you become an artist, may you never paint with pen or brush any picture of external life other than as you really see it. In all your circumstances, my child, may you seek after truth and cling to it as a drowning man in a stormy sea who flings himself on a plank and clings to it, knowing that whether he sinks or swims, it is the best that he has. Die poor, unknown, a failure, but shut your eyes to nothing that seems to them to be the truth. Give the truth a round of applause. The truth a round of applause. And during that period of the 60s and all that turbulence and all the rights, human rights, civil rights, all kinds of things, UMBC was founded the middle of the 60s. And it was founded at a time, for the first time in our state, people of all backgrounds, racial, ethnic backgrounds, anyone could come here. And so we have that rich history here. And so the values that we have that I want you to think about: treating others with respect, standing against prejudice, speaking out with courage when things are right and wrong. All those things are significant now more than ever. And most important, having an environment in which we can even agree to disagree. Thinking people will have different points of view, but to be able to disagree with civility and to learn from each other. One of the biggest challenges we face in our country is that half the students who start in college never graduate. Half, 50%. Think about it. When I was in college and when our faculty colleagues or some of your families were in college, the dean said, look at the student to your left at this kind of ceremony, look at the student to your right, and then the dean said, one of you will not graduate. That's a terrible thing to say to young people, because if I'm at all uncomfortable, I'm thinking, oh my God, he's talking about me somehow, right? But this is what I want you to do. Follow my instructions. Look at the student to your left. Look at the student to your right. Our goal is to make sure all three of you graduate, and if you don't, we fail, and we don't plan to fail. Big round of applause for your graduating, for your graduating. As both Brenda and Jackson said, getting connected makes a big difference. You're going to find all kinds of intellectual competitions here: mock trial and the Maryland Cyber Challenge and the Baja Racing and the Model UN, and there's so many of them, and chess and so many. Give all those intellectual competitions a round of applause for what they do. And then we were really excited to have 4 teams this year who won their American East Championships: men's and women's swimming and diving, men's lacrosse, and softball. Give them all a big round of applause. Give men's soccer and men's basketball a chance for going to the championship. Give them a round of applause too, Jackson. And all the athletes together had a GPA of 3.1. Big deal. Give them a round of applause. And a special shout out to the volleyball team, because they had a GPA of 3.5. They were really drinking the right water. Give them a round of applause. Amazing. Amazing. And so my challenge to you is to ask good questions, to remember that word grit, to not get so discouraged when you don't do as well, to learn from what they said before, to learn from times when you make those mistakes. It will happen all the time. What I want you to think about is this Involvement Fest on September 4th. Go there, learn the things you can do. You know, you're sitting here today, you can read well. If you look at today's paper, you will see where they say only about half of the children in our state, and only about 30, not even 30% in Baltimore City can read well. This is why involvement and getting involved, Shriver Center, and giving of your skills. Of those to whom much is given, much is required. If you look at the paper today, it talks about how well that the Lakeland Elementary School in the city, where our kids work, where Brenda works, that they had the highest progress in any school in the state. Give them a round of applause for what they did. Big deal. So this is your home. How many of you exercise every day? Take the time and exercise. It makes a difference. How many of you are getting enough sleep? This is the time when you're on your own, right? You need to get your sleep. You cannot be your best without your sleep. How many of you know the importance of making good choices? Let me say this to you. You might assume that all students at a university drink. That is not the case. In fact, the majority of first-year students will tell you that they don't necessarily assume any alcohol in a 2-week period. And large numbers of underclassmen will say the same thing. 40% of college students binge drink. At UMBC, it's about half that number, but a lot of students don't drink at all. Why do I tell you that? Every week, we have at least one student who has to be taken by emergency to St. Agnes because of problems with drinking. It's very important that you hear that, because every day in America, 4 to 5 students die, college students die from alcohol abuse. It's so real, and that I decided years ago to start talking about it. And every day in America, 130 Americans die from opioid overdoses. Every day. Very important. And so I want you to think about the notion of what you do. Take time to be your best self, to think carefully about what you do. It makes all the difference in the world. Part of being your best self, and this is the part I really want to read because it is so critical. Part of being your best self means helping to create a community that is safe and welcoming for everyone. Over the past few years, in large part because of the Me Too movement, we have been reckoning as a society and as a campus with the fact that we live in a culture where sexual violence and sexual harassment have been normalized. Unfortunately, statistics show that 25% of women, 21% of transgender, non-binary, or gender non-conforming people, and 15% of men will experience some form of sexual violence during their time in college. And the risk is greatest in the first semester at the institution. And this is why we are taking the time in all kinds of sessions that you're having. Let me be clear. Sexual violence and misconduct are absolutely not tolerated on this campus. Give me a round of applause for that idea, that it's not tolerated on this campus. Every report of sexual violence, domestic violence, stalking is investigated, and we are dedicated as an institution to ensuring that you, our students, are cared for. Because it's so important to our culture, you're already involved in this mandatory training for all incoming students, both online and online and in person, involving sexual violence prevention. But I still want to take a moment and talk about this concept that you've been hearing about, consent. We can never talk about it enough. We see the cases. We have to keep thinking critically about this. Consent is the knowing, voluntary, and affirmative agreement between parties to participate in a given sexual behavior. Consent isn't silence. It's not, I don't know, or maybe, or a shrug. Consent will be withdrawn, can be withdrawn at any time. And consent to engage in one kind of activity is not consent to do something else. If you're ever in doubt, stop and ask. The concept of consent is central to the kind of culture we are wanting to have here at UMBC, and you play a crucial role in making that culture a reality. It means asking someone asking if someone would like a hug when you're greeting them, as I've learned to do. Always ask, just ask. Can I get a hug? But ask that question. Asking for and respecting the pronouns that someone uses. It means calling in instead of calling out those people who are making others feel uncomfortable. Intervening when you see someone in a potentially dangerous situation, and knowing where to direct your friends or classmates if they find themselves in a moment of crisis. Those resources are on the back of your new gold cards, and they're just right there for that moment so that you don't have to hesitate. You can tell people where they have to go. Together, we can truly make strides to create a safer, more caring, living, learning, and working environment for everyone. A round of applause for the vision of a caring, supportive community. As I close, I could never have imagined as a little kid in Birmingham, little black kid in Birmingham, that I would ever see a group looking like you. You are amazing. You represent human society. You represent the best of our country and beyond. Let me prove it to you. If you have at least one parent who was born in another country, stand up right now. Let's see who you are. Wow. Keep standing and give them a round of applause. That's amazing. Keep standing. Keep standing. If both your parents were born in this country, and I want you to stand now. Keep standing, everybody, keep standing. Keep standing, keep standing, keep standing. Everybody born in this country now, because I want to make a point. We are UMBC. We are this country. We are humankind. You are preparing to work with people all over the world. Give the vision of humankind a round of applause. Give the vision of humankind a round of applause. Young people, have a seat. As you start this, the next time you'll be together will be at commencement at this level. You'll be in basketball games, soccer games, and everything else, but in this kind of setting with faculty with this. And you know, every year at commencement, I'm asking students, what are your plans? And I'll never forget when one young woman looked at me and she said, Doc, I'm going to change the world. And there's your challenge. You have the ability. I want you to get goosebumps about the idea. Right now, you have the possibility of changing the world. Welcome to UMBC. Thank you all very much. And now I'm delighted to introduce Dr. Nancy Young, Vice President for Student Affairs. Pick it right back up, all right? Who is the Chief Student Advocate. Give her a round of applause.
Thank you. So breathe. We are in the home stretch and we have just one thing left to do that we call our pinning ceremony. And in order to be here, you all went through admissions processes and you showed us that you had all the prerequisite talents and abilities and background to be here. And since then, you've moved in or attended a transfer retreat or a commuter student retreat, and you've gone through many Welcome Week activities. You might have gone to Dr. Cullen's session on respect or played at Playfair. But regardless of what the program was during Welcome Week, it was designed not only to help you with our transition, but to transmit our values and the high expectations of you that you've heard from all of our speakers today. We hope that over the last 4 days, you've learned that UMBC is a place where we value academic excellence, but also a place where all members are welcomed and treated with respect. A place where each of us is expected now to take action to improve the community that we share. And a place where our members conduct themselves with integrity. You are also reminded that your success depends largely on your active involvement both in and outside of the classroom. The words shared by all of our convocation speakers today have illustrated these points. Brenda and Jackson's stories in particular highlighted the fact that there will be challenges ahead, but also that even the most difficult obstacles can be overcome when you work hard and you have support. You've heard us talk about grit, and it might take grit to be great, but greatness is rarely achieved alone, and we are all here to support you, and we hope that the people you are sitting here now or across the room are equally committed to that support. Because when we work together, we are all one community that succeeds. You received a pin when you walked in the building today. If you would be kind enough to get that pin out and put it in your hand, we'd appreciate that. So make sure you have that out. Let me just take a minute. If you don't have one, please raise your hand in case we miss someone so that a member of our staff can get that for you. Shaped like the paw of true grit, our Chesapeake Bay Retriever mascot, the pin in your hand, we have one up here. Keep it really high, all the way down front. Shaped like the paw of true grit, our Chesapeake Bay Retriever mascot, the pin is a commitment to the responsibilities you accept as you enter our university. True Grit's paw print serves always as a reminder of our values, traditions, and high ideals. Dr. Hrabowski, will you join me to welcome our newest students? New students, please stand. Dr. Hrabowski.
Dr. Young.
Faculty and staff. Upper class students, we have the honor of presenting the entering class for fall 2019 and hope that you'll join us in recognizing them as full members of our UMBC community with all the privileges and responsibilities connected to that membership. Students, by accepting this pin, you pledge to make the most of your education and strive to uphold our ideals. If you accept this responsibility, please repeat, I will. We paused for your reply, and so now we invite you to pin yourselves with those pins. And faculty and staff, please join us in giving our newest retrievers a round of applause. If I can invite the faculty and staff to stand, and if you will remain standing for our alma mater. You'll find the words to our alma mater in the back of your program, and we want everyone in the event center to understand that it's very important to remain standing and always in a room, whether it's at a game or at a formal ceremony like this, out of respect for your institution, whenever you hear the words of this song. Please don't leave the arena until we finish.
And when you're in a game and you see people walking, just in a polite way, ask them to stop, because it is respect for UMBC and for ourselves that we stand here as we sing. Okay?
Cue alma mater.
Thoughts, words, actions, habits, character, destiny. Again, thoughts, words, actions, habits, character, destiny. Watch your thoughts, they become your. Watch your words, they become your. Watch your actions, they become your. Watch your habits, they become your. Watch your character, it becomes your. Welcome to UMBC.
Following the ceremony, everyone is invited to a picnic out on the Commons lawn, back at that big white tent to go towards there where we've had the Unity event and other things. Welcome to UMBC.
Wait until we march out, though.
And wait until we march out, and then you will go to the picnic.
Yes.
Okay, so this concludes the 2009 convocation ceremony. Now we ask that you remain in place until the platform party and the faculty and staff have recessed.